Okay, people, let's do this thing. Now, turn the page. Go on, turn the page. What do we have here? I'll tell you what we have here. The most important part of this whole talk. That's what we have here. If you only take one thing from today, let it be this. Read the top. Read it. What does it say? It says, sell your way to success. That's right. It's all about selling. You know the product, but can you sell it? Can you sell it? Well, let's learn how. Step 1. Get their attention. Get their attention. Vital. And how do you do that? As soon as they open the door, smile. Give a big smile. Always smile. I want to see you people smiling. Come on, smile. Good. That's rule 1. Rule 2, get straight to the point. Say who you are and what you have for them. Hi, I'm Brad Winter, and I've got something special for you today. Now, quick, move on. Step 2, get their interest. Start by saying you're doing a survey and you want their opinion. That makes them feel valued. Ask them a couple of questions. Then show them the product. Show them the product as soon as you can. When they see it, the link is made. Finally, tell them it's free if they let you demonstrate it. That's right. Say it's theirs to keep, whatever, but get inside so you can demonstrate it. Step 3. Come on, people, keep up. Step 3. Get their desire. Their desire. Make them want it. Tell them about the advantages of the product. Why it's the best thing in their sad little lives. And then, here's the key. Give it to them. Give it to them so they can hold it. Bang! Another link is made. You see? Now, step 4, the most important part. Get their money. Money, people! That's what this is all about. How do you get their money? Easy. Trick 1, go for their sympathy. Tell them you're working your way through college, or it's your first day. Something, anything, but get their sympathy. Trick 2. Make them feel guilty. Say that their kid deserves this. Every good parent would want one. Trick 3. Give them a free offer. Buy one, get a second free. A free offer. How can they refuse? Use as many tricks as you like, but be sure of one thing. Never leave without a sale. That's our golden rule, people. Never leave without a sale. Now, over the page. Go on. Turn the page.
What about you, Tina? Have you got a story about a journey you remember?
Yes, I have, actually. There's one journey I'll never forget.
Oh, really?
Right.
Tell us about it. It was about 6 years ago. I was going to Hong Kong from London. The flight was early in the morning, so the night before, I stayed in a hotel near the airport. Well, I was in a holiday mood that night.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went to the hotel bar and ordered a drink, to celebrate. And I got talking to some other people. We had a great time, and anyway, when I left the bar, it was about 3 in the morning. The flight was at 6 o'clock, so it wasn't really worth going to sleep.
So what did you do?
I watched TV for a bit, but, well, I fell asleep, didn't I?
Oh, no.
When I woke up, it was after 5 o'clock. You know, you have to get there early to check in, right?
Well, normally that's 2 hours before the flight.
So I panicked, grabbed my bags, and rushed outside looking for a taxi. Of course, no taxis anywhere.
Oh.
Luckily, after a few minutes running up and down the street, an airport bus came along.
Oh, that was lucky.
So I got on that. When I got there, it was actually nearly 6, so I thought, the gate will be closed. I've missed my plane. The whole terminal was empty, except for a huge crowd of people at one end. And luckily, that was the queue for my flight. It was delayed. Yeah, I was really pleased. But the delay went from 1 hour to 4 hours to finally 9 hours. 9 hours waiting in the airport. I slept on some chairs most of the time. Finally, at around 3 o'clock, the plane took off.
Oh.
But the worst part was yet to come. After a few hours, there was a huge storm, and the plane started bouncing around all over the place. I remember feeling it was like being in a washing machine. People were screaming, babies crying, food flying everywhere.
Oh.
I was really scared. And then, the worst thing of all, the oxygen masks dropped down. Suddenly, we were all staring at these yellow oxygen masks, and the feeling of fear, I just can't describe it.
Well, what did you do?
I put my mask on and just sat there in absolute terror, with the plane bouncing all over the place and lightning outside the windows. Anyway, the plane didn't crash, thank God. And we got to Hong Kong okay in the end. But what a journey. I'll never forget it. And welcome once again to People Today. Now it's time for our Eye on the World section with Mark Perkins. Mark?
Thanks, Anna. Yes, in tonight's Eye on the World, we go to Japan. Now, everyone knows people in Japan work long, hard hours. But just what do people do in their free time? Well, we did a survey of leisure activities in Japan, and here is the top 10. In first place is eating out. As you can see, eating out is by far the most popular free time activity. In second place comes, wait for it, driving. Yes, it appears Japanese people like nothing more than driving around cities and into the countryside in their free time. It may seem strange to you and me, but there you are. Next, in third place, is travel within Japan. To all those lovely temples and gardens, I guess. Fourth is, guess what, Anna?
I have no idea.
Karaoke, of course. Lots of people enjoy singing along with their favorite songs. Then, in fifth place, we have watching DVDs and videos, followed by listening to music. But just look what we have here in seventh place. Trips to museums and zoos. Then way down in eighth place comes going to bars, and after that, gardening. I guess not so many people in Japan have gardens. And finally, in 10th place, we have playing the lottery. And who wouldn't want to win lots of money? Back to you, Anna.
Thanks, Mark. Now, let's go to see what's happening.
Hi. Thanks for coming. It's great to see you. Come in. Now, let me tell you about my friends. Over there, that's my best friend, Susan. Can you see her? She has long black hair, quite tall and slim. She's wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Oh, you'll like her because she's friendly and she can be very funny. We were at school together. We had so many laughs. Then over there is Kevin. He's the one wearing the suit. He's serious, but very kind. He's a teacher. I'm sure the kids love him. Next to him in the shorts is Sam. He always wears shorts, whatever the weather. He's crazy, but he's interesting too. Ask him about his visit to India. Oh, and there's Mary dancing over there, the one wearing the dress. She's really clever, but she studies all the time. She's so hard-working, you wouldn't believe it. Anyway, how about a drink before I introduce you? 1.
Oh, yes. It was in late July 2002. I had just left college and I felt fantastic. I was young, healthy. I had the whole world at my feet. No more exams. I swore I'd never take another exam. I was making plans to go abroad, see some of the world. I felt so free. I used to meet my friends from college in the evenings and we'd talk about all our plans.
2.
About 2 years ago. That was when I set up my own pizza delivery company. I was really optimistic and felt sure that things were gonna go great. I had contracts with 3 big pizza restaurants and had just employed 6 delivery staff. I was so proud.
3.
The best day of my life was on September the 1st, 2000. It was around 8:30 at night. I was in a restaurant with Maria, my girlfriend at the time, and I had just asked her to marry me. She said yes. I felt so relieved. We ordered champagne, and I was absolutely elated.
4.
Oh, yes, that's easy. 3 months ago, my beautiful baby Jason was born then. He has the most marvelous blue eyes and blonde hair. I was exhausted. My husband was with me, and he filmed everything on our camcorder. It was an unforgettable experience, and I remember feeling very different. I was a mother now.
5.
For me, it was probably on holiday last year in Brazil. I went to the Rio Carnival. It was absolutely amazing. There were tens of thousands of people all just having a good time. I was so excited. The music played all day and night. I did the samba until my feet ached so much I could hardly stand up. I was so tired by the end. What an amazing party. I mean, just out of this world.
Thank you, Kevin Edwards, for that short speech. Now, next we have Indira Komandur.
My talk is about arranged marriage. I'm 17. My parents are already starting to look for a husband for me. In a few years, I shall marry a man that they choose. Now, you're probably thinking, that's terrible. How awful. But I don't think so, and I'm going to explain why. Most people confuse arranged marriage with forced marriage. A forced marriage is one where you have no choice. However, when my parents choose a husband for me, if I don't like him, I can tell them and they will find me another. I have a choice. It's just that my parents do the looking for me. I think that's a good idea. After all, they know who I am. They know me better than I know myself, and I trust them to find a good man who will make me happy. They wouldn't choose a bad man for me to marry, would they? In Britain, though, people just hope to find their marriage partner at work, or in a pub, or at a party. This means it must be hard to meet the right person, I think. Perhaps that's why I see so many unhappy relationships and failed marriages. I would much rather trust my parents to find a husband for me than rely on luck. I think my marriage will have a very good chance of success. So when I say I'm looking forward to my arranged marriage, ask yourself, is it really such a crazy idea?
Hello and welcome once again to What's Cooking, the program that shows you the quick and easy way to cook tasty meals. Now, today I'm going to show you how to make mushroom risotto. This is an easy dish to make. First, heat 25 grams of butter in a saucepan. Then add half a large onion, chopped, and cook for 3 minutes. And next, add 300 grams of sliced mushrooms and continue to cook for 2 minutes. And now we are ready for the arborio rice. 350 grams. Stir it well. And next, you need some liquid. About a liter of vegetable stock, together with 150 milliliters of dry white wine. Add the liquid a little at a time. Keep stirring and gradually add more stock until the rice is cooked. And here's one I started just before the program began. Smells great already. And finally, we're going to turn the heat off. Add 40 grams of grated cheese. Cover it and let it stand for 5 minutes. Okay, that's 5 minutes. So let's take a look at our risotto. And there you are. One perfect mushroom risotto. And next week, I'm going to show you one of my favorite desserts.
Radio City. It's the Big Breakfast Show with Mike Martin.
Good morning, America. I'm Mike Martin, and what a lovely morning it is here today with the sun shining, and doesn't it just feel so good to be alive? Don't you feel great? Well, if you don't, then listen up, because today's topic is how to live a better and healthier life. Joining us here in the studio to start things off, we have expert Sonia Tarrington from the University of California's Nutrition Research Center. Hi, Sonia. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Mike. Glad to be here.
Sonia, your job title is nutritionist. Now, what on earth do you do?
Well, a nutritionist is basically a food scientist. That means I examine the effect food has on our bodies.
So you mean you find out what is in, say, an apple that makes it a healthy food to eat?
More or less, Mike. You see, unhealthy eating causes all kinds of health problems, such as obesity and even heart disease. It's an area the government is very interested in now, as it has to spend millions of dollars every year fighting these problems. That's why programs like the University of California's Nutrition Research Center were set up. We hope to show people how to eat themselves to better health.
Eat yourself to better health. That sounds too good to be true. Shouldn't we be dieting or something?
Not necessarily. You really don't have to go on a diet to eat healthily. You can eat just as much as before, but by choosing the right combination of foods, then you'll become healthier.
Great. Can you give poor slobs like me any details here, Sonia?
Sure. The best thing you can probably do is add 1 extra vegetable to your main meal. Oh, and always cook vegetables by stir-frying. It's quick and easy, plus they keep their goodness.
Great advice. And I guess people like me who tend to snack on chocolate and cakes should swap to, say, fruit and health bars instead, right?
That's right. There's really no trick to it. It's just common sense.
So why do people like you get such huge salaries? Only joking, Sonia. Seriously, though, the message is keep away from fries and burgers?
Yes, and red meat. White meat, such as chicken or pork, is far healthier.
And my mom always said you should grill meat, too. Is that right?
Yes, grilling removes more fat. You see...
And what about fish? My mom always made us eat fish on Fridays. Was she right? I hated fish.
Your mom was right again, Mike. At least once or twice a week, you should eat fish. It's full of goodness and very easy to digest.
Okay then, Sonia. So, are you telling us that lots of fresh fruit, veg, and healthy things like that will make us live longer?
Well, the statistics suggest yes. You'll live a longer and healthier life. In fact, some research shows that eating more fruit and vegetables can reduce your risk of cancer by as much as 20%.
Amazing. Well, we'll be back with Sonia right after the ads.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Language International. My name is Mrs. Watson, and I am the Centre Manager. I hope you will all have a wonderful stay here with us. This is Miss Jones, who is our Director of Studies. Miss Jones, would you please say a little about the weekly timetable?
Hello, everyone. As Mrs. Watson said, I am the Director of Studies here at Language International. Could you all now please turn to page 5 in your folder, where you can see the weekly timetable. Now, you see that lessons begin every weekday at 9 a.m. The first class every Monday is grammar practice, followed at 9:45 by a visit to the language laboratory. There is a break from 10:30 to 11, and then you have a double lesson of speaking skills. Tuesday morning begins with presentation skills. This is important as you will each give a presentation at the end of the course to your class. And this counts for 10% of your final grade. At 9:45, you'll have a reading skills lesson, and after the break, vocabulary development. In the afternoon, starting at 1:30 p.m, you'll go to the library. In the library lesson, you can read, watch a video, or practice grammar. On Wednesday morning, you have listening skills, and then what we call current affairs, where you'll listen to the news on the radio and discuss what's going on. After the break, it's another double lesson of speaking skills. Thursday morning begins with pronunciation. Then a special Life in Britain class, where you will learn about British culture. After the break is grammar practice once again. Finally, on Friday morning, in the first lesson, you will practice writing skills, followed by a lesson in the computer room. After the break is the weekly review period, where your teacher will help with any problems you may have. Oh, and don't forget you can study on your own in the library every weekday from 3:30 to 6 p.m. as well, if you wish.
Thank you, Miss Jones. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Brown, who is the social organizer.
Thank you, Mrs. Watson. Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Brown, and it's my job to make sure you have some fun while you're here too. Now, this afternoon we'll go together on a walking tour of the city, and then on Wednesday afternoon we're off to the local sports centre, where you can play volleyball or football, use the gym, or go swimming to keep yourselves fit. And on Friday afternoons we have a film club. This week's film is Spider-Man. On Saturday, we're going on a day trip to Oxford, leaving here at 8:30 in the morning. Please don't be late or we'll go without you. And finally, on Sunday, we're off to London, leaving at the same time. If there are any other things you'd like to do while you're here, then just ask me and I'll see if I can help.
And welcome back to this week's Celebrity House Challenge. Now, this is the moment you have all been waiting for, as once again we go with Tina for a look inside a celebrity's home.
Thank you, David. And welcome to all you viewers out there. Well, here I am in one of the most luxurious homes I have ever been in. And just look at this wonderful lounge. In the middle is a superb leather sofa that can seat no less than 6 people. And in front, there is this marvellous coffee table, made of wood with a glass top. The book on the coffee table is an atlas of the world, so perhaps that's one clue to the identity of our mystery famous person. It seems they're adventurous and enjoy travel. On the wall behind the sofa is a great painting, a fine example of modern art. This person is clearly very cultured and has excellent taste. And opposite the sofa is the television. And what a television it is! A huge, state-of-the-art, widescreen TV. And there are so many videos and DVDs here. So, this person must surely be a movie fan. The floor is polished wood, which gives the whole room an elegant feel. Near the door to the kitchen, there are some children's toys on the floor. So, this person must have a family. Well, what else can I say here? Oh, there are some beautiful flowers in the window. They add a feminine touch to the room. And together with the lady's handbag here on the sofa, you might think this person is a woman. Oh, yes, and one more thing. Behind the sofa, against the wall, there's a very modern desk with a computer and lots of work-like things. So this person probably needs to use a computer for their work. And they may even work from home. So, David, who lives in a house like this? It's back to you in the studio. Order! Order! Welcome everyone. Welcome to this public information meeting. Now, we have many things on today's agenda, but I think it best if we start with the main issue, which I'm sure is why so many of you are here tonight, the new bypass. Mr. Johnson, you are Director of the Stockton City Planning Department. Can I ask you to explain the plan and the reasons for the bypass?
Yes, Madam Chair. The City Council feels that a bypass is needed north of Stockton to take traffic away from the city centre. As you all know, there are just too many cars and lorries driving through Stockton. Now, I know local residents may not like the idea, but the best place for the bypass is through the Lee Valley. There is simply no alternative. The Lee Valley is close to Stockton, the ground is ideal for road building, and it is the cheapest option we have.
Order! Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Now, may I ask Sarah Wilson, the leader of the Save Lee Valley group, to explain the objections.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We residents of Lee Valley strongly object to plans for the bypass going through our countryside. The Lee Valley is the most beautiful, unspoilt area in the region. We mustn't destroy it forever. We must preserve it. What's more, it's an important historical site too. There are many ancient Roman remains here that the bypass would completely destroy. And finally, Madam Chair, We residents do not want 20,000 vehicles a day passing our homes. This would cause too much pollution. The plan is totally unacceptable.
Order! Thank you, Mrs. Wilson. Now, are there any questions?
Welcome to our tour. Ghosts of the Tower of London, everyone. The tower has stood on this ground since 1066, when Duke William of Normandy invaded England. And throughout its history, it has been used as a prison and place of execution, which may be why, today, some people say this is one of the scariest places on earth. There are many tales of ghosts here. The ghost most people see is Anne Boleyn, the second wife of King Henry VIII. When she didn't give birth to a boy, she was beheaded on Tower Green in 1536. A headless female figure in a white dress has often been seen close to where she was executed, near Queen's House. She is also said to haunt the Chapel Royal, where the same headless figure has been seen leading a ghostly procession of lords and ladies down the aisle towards where her headless body is buried. The tower was also the scene of the infamous disappearance of the two princes, Edward, 12, and Richard, 9, who were thought to have been murdered in 1483. When their father, King Edward IV, died, his brother Richard took the boys to the tower for their protection, but they disappeared. Richard was later crowned Richard III. According to one story, guards in the late 15th century spotted the shadows of two small figures gliding down the stairs in the White Tower. Nearly 200 years later, in 1674, workmen found a chest beneath the stairway of the White Tower that contained the skeletons of two young children, recently proved by DNA testing to be the two princes. Lady Jane Grey was just 17 when she was executed on the 12th of February 1554, after only 9 days as Queen to Henry VIII. Her ghost is said to appear on the anniversary of her death on the Salt Tower. Other ghostly appearances include the chained and headless body of Sir Walter Raleigh, who has often been seen in the Bywood Tower, and another ghost many people have seen is Henry's fifth wife, Catherine Howard. She ran away from her executioner, and her ghost has been seen running down the tower's hallway, screaming for help.
Ooh, spooky.
Now, let's go further into the tower and see if we can find any of these ghosts. Okay, quiet please. Can everyone hear me? Welcome to the Thames Barrier. As you can see, the barrier goes right across the River Thames. It is 520 metres wide and took 8 years to build. It was completed in 1982. Can you see those big things that look like hats? They're called piers. There are 9 of them. Each pier is 50 metres high from top to bottom. Between them, you can see the steel gates, There are 10 gates in total. 6 of these gates rise up out of the water in order to form a barrier. The 4 largest of these steel gates are 61 meters wide and weigh 1,500 tons each. When they're not in use, these gates lie flat in concrete sills on the river bed. Down there also are 2 service tunnels. When there is a danger of flooding, these 6 gates are raised to form a barrier between the piers. When raised, each is as high as a 5-story building. The other 4 gates are smaller, and they are lowered into the water. On the front of each pier are some navigation lights. A red cross means the gate is closed, and a green arrow means it's open. The gates are powered by electricity. The power packs are immediately below the steel roofs, inside the hats. The Thames Barrier protects London from flooding. This is necessary because every 100 years the water in the river rises 75 centimetres. This is due mostly to global warming, but also in part because the south of England is sinking slowly. But the rising water level isn't the main threat. The main danger of flooding comes from sudden big waves that come in from far out to sea. These are called tidal surges. So far, the barrier has protected London against flooding nearly 70 times. 750,000 people living in London are in danger from flooding, so it's very important to them. It wasn't cheap. It cost over £535 million to build. But this is a lot less than it would cost to repair any damage to London if the city was flooded. Now, are there any questions?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Space Society. To live in the 21st century is to live in an age where communication and technology seem to rule our world. And almost inevitably, we find ourselves thinking about human settlement of other planets. Tonight, the topic of our debate is the colonization of other planets. Here with us, we have Dr. Timothy Brown and Dr. Sandra Wilkins. Dr. Brown, may I ask you to speak first?
Thank you. Let me start by making one thing clear. Colonization of other planets is certain. It's only a matter of time. Oh, and of course, money. To build a spaceship capable of carrying hundreds of people is not cheap. However, once built, all a spaceship needs is enough fuel, food, water, and oxygen, and colonization becomes a reality. I see 3 steps to colonization. First, we need to know how to live in space. And, thanks to the International Space Station, this step is already achieved. The next logical step is to establish a colony on the Moon, and then step 3 on Mars, our nearest planet. Imagine how much we can discover about a planet by living there. Imagine also, if we set up powerful telescopes on the Moon or Mars, how much more we can learn about the universe. It is mankind's destiny to colonize other planets. We must not fail in this challenge.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Brown. And now, may I ask Dr. Sandra Wilkins to speak?
Thank you. And thank you to Dr. Brown for that interesting speech. I am glad the good doctor referred to money. Just think for a moment how much money colonization of the Moon or Mars or any other planet would take billions and billions and billions of dollars to put a handful of people on a dead planet. The fact is, colonization is just too expensive. People may talk of huge resources of copper, diamonds, and other precious minerals on other planets, but no one knows they are there. We should spend the money on this planet, on feeding people and protecting Earth's environment, rather than make foolish and costly trips into space.
Many thanks, Dr. Wilkins. And now, are there any questions from the audience? Could I...
I have a question.
Yes, the lady over there.